Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. That's all go. Oops, forgot to turn my avatar. That's booting on up. And I think everything is good to go. So let's go and get started. I do have a replay submitted to me, but I'll first start with 1v1 to get warmed up with. The 2v2 that was submitted to me, let me just make sure the factions are different. Double Brits versus Rearmock OKW, so let's just try to get some that's not Brit. This one should be fine. Watching that, something I realized over here, minimize that. Yep, YouTube chat. Sorry, double checking too many things. Oops, that bug. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Compiros 2 replay. Spawn on the south side as the blue Okuda player, we got C. Blanco. Spawn on the north side as the red, so we got Stefan Ovsky. We'll do that name well enough. Plus he's going for a tier 1 opener. He does have conscript bulletins as well. We do have, of course, Doom Pioneers. Oh, he went for a very familiar face there for the Arborn Troop Tactics. Okuda player has straight up Volksgrenadier bulletins. One of the Volksgrenadiers, Kublwagen to Volksgrenadiers. Pretty common opener. Squad on the build queue as well. We do now have... Let's see, he can always go for Paradrop Dishka, so he has an anti-infantry platform. He also has access to an upgrade for his units of the SVTs, but of course Pino's going to receive PPSHs, because he already has SVTs. Engineers come to that sector. It looks like he's building some wire there. And he is going to go for an M3, so got a bit of a clown car, likely. More Volksgrenadiers now being pulled in field. Volksgrenadiers and Sturm Pioneers pushing up north to the VP. He has captured this fuel sector over here. We have a new scout car at our disposal. More Volksgrenadiers on the build queue. M3 now deployed in the field. Fortunate enough manpower for another penal squad. Going for another penal squad. Engineers are behind the tractor. Kublwagen peppering up the combat engineers. We do have units here. We do now the M3 heading towards the Kublwagen. With the penal squad along the back, there's a good chance this Kublwagen will be going on down. Slow moving there. Oh, let's go and try to play some Ring Around the Rosie, being a little bit smart about it. Ring Around the Rosie. Volksgrenadiers do not have access to Panzerfaust. And think as well, having the Volksgrenadiers 1v1 the M3 is also not a good idea. Volksgrenadiers pursuing it, Sturm Pioneers also advancing. Kublwagen being pursued. Saves the Kublwagen for now. M3 has help. Maybe a good idea just have him floored on out of there. Reversing up here is not a bad idea. Wagon's getting peppered up a little bit there. M3 will fall back there. Combat engineers fall back. The M3 needs to fall back to repairs. Pino should either dismount somewhere safe enough. That's not exactly safe enough. There's too many guys here. M3 is going to be firing away. Focus on the Sturm Pioneers. Sturm Pioneers hitting the M3. M3 is actually probably going down. Pino squad root for the Sturm Pioneers. Sturm Pioneers do fall back. Pause. Nope, he retargets immediately. No squad wipe. He decides to fall back there. M3 falling back as well. And just leaving this Pino squad to capture the southern flank. Very good play there by the Oakley player, going with a full 4th Volksgrenadiers and the SWS half-track. Sustaining a lot less losses usually than you receive from M3 like that. Conscript squad in the build queue. Penal squad needs reinforced. No... Medics are queued on up. That's where his extra resources may have went. And we've got the flamethrower there. SWS half-track score support in a few, but he needs it deployed. Vaughan heading down south. Volks pushing way forward. Vaughan does barely manage to stay alive. Up here, got the Flamer car now pursuing the Volksgrenadiers. With strategy. Volksgrenadiers taking some hits. M3 pursuing. Getting some damage there. Not too bad of damage though. Could have been far worse. I think there was 2 squads nearby. He was able to delete the damage between the 2 squads. Penal squad decapturing. That's not a cutoff so based on what I can see on the mini-map. And the mission sector is being reverted on back. Does start emulating this. No Panzerfaust available just yet. The 4th Volks was probably a bad idea against the M3. Probably should have gone for the half-track HQ first to get that Panzerfaust. Volksgrenadier is now advancing. Engineer is pretty wounded, but he does have medics at home. He is resilient at the back on the top of the M3, but he's not bulletproof. Sometimes I had times where a infantry unit in a, let's see, I remember one time I had an infantry unit in a half-track. I had an MG42 in the garrison firing down, I think it was a Soviet M5, in which the MG42 decided to just lit up the squad in the back of it. And since he was at point-blank range and it wasn't a flamethrower squad, the squad just got ripped apart. Largely due to the fact that while the garrison cover does provide quite a bit of extra defense, the not being suppressed means you took pretty much full damage as well. Because being a suppressed state reduces the amount of damage you receive, or increase your receive accuracy, making actually a bit more resilient. Because when you get fully pinned and after 3 seconds you start, that effect does lose, gets lost. We do now have a Tank of V battalion there. Plus I think I had incendiary rounds loaded up so the damage increased, but since he didn't get suppressed, he just ate it. Double penal, why not something like engineers or conscripts? And penals are a pretty good combat squad. They're good mid-range, long-range squad. Maybe he wants to eventually paradrop some PPSHs for them. SCG's now upgraded. He does have 3 command points, can bring some guard airborne troops. Volksgrenadiers rotate around, hitting the conscript squad. We may see a Panzerfaust. We see 2 Panzerfausts. Doesn't take it out. Trying to focus down now. 2-man squad needs to fall back. M3 goes down, however, gets abandoned, but 1 stray penetration bullet does finish it off. Volkswagen is wounded here. Kuhwagen pushed forward. Veteran C2 on the Kuhwagen. Veteran C2, of course, gets the increase in mobility. As Veteran C3 gets free repairs out of combat. Repair dropping in a Dishka, which would be very useful if his opponent goes for the flak half track. Those stun grenade.
Anti-tank gun is ready for action.
Shroom Pioneers firing away. Penal Squad behind light cover. And likely we'll be able to displace the Shroom Pioneers behind light cover as well, as long as they have maximum range. Volks Grenadiers moving around. Could be for anti-armor, penal PTRSs, though I dislike penal PTRSs. I do like the anti-infantry capability of penals. Penals are a good anti-infantry unit. But guess we'll find out soon enough. And knowing the Computer Heroes 2 games, that could be within an hour. Volksgunners push forward, eyeing for some heavy cover here behind the destroyed Panzer IV. Volksgunners skirmishing around, comm engineers are falling back. MG-34 does get flanked by the Flamer engineers. Kuhwagen up north. Penal Squad takes some damage. Over here, got Flame Engineers hitting these Volksgrenadiers. Dishka firing away. Volksgrenadiers getting suppressed. And the conscripts are on the way forward, maybe trying to get to the VP. I'm not so sure what they're actually eyeing. Conscripts heading down south for the winter. Volksgrenadiers getting peppered up a little bit there. We've got the Dishka here. Penal Squad pops out the garrison. Volksgrenadiers do fall back. MG-34 hitting this conscript squad. Does decapture this cutoff sector. And looks like the Zis gun does get they get reloaded. I would say immediately start salvaging. Try to destroy the gun. Conscripts are soft retreating back, so they manage to escape the MG-34. Kuhwagen takes in damage. Shroom Pioneers need to throw a stun grenade. Throws a stun grenade. Quite stunning and brave, I think. We now have the Sheriff Panzer quarters going on up. He has 80 fuel left over, 30 that for the Panzer authorization to be authorized, resulting 50 leftover fuel, so he's still a bit away from Panzer IV. Soviet player has his tier 3 built, no tier 4 built, has 105 fuel in store. When a unit is in any sort of form of cover, it does. There's a lot of things going on with that question. When a unit is in cover, any form of cover, whether it be light or heavy, it has a higher suppression recovery. Additionally, when a unit is behind heavy cover, they receive less suppression. It's more of whether or not if a unit is not necessarily in cover, because a lot of the cover that we see, there's like one guy sticking out, that person is generally not in cover. And thus that's why that model usually gets picked off first. And usually there's that one loose model. What do you mean by show matches? That's because there hasn't been too many replays, or really any replays that gets uploaded to code2.org. So I more or less just stopped casting those games. And lately, and when I sort of stopped casting games like I posted to code2.org, it's usually part of like a ban report for Relic. Saying, hey, this person's map hacking or things of sort. The code2.org site is just basically sort of dead. When I basically mean it really is. There's like 5 people who are still on it, and I mostly just lurk there nowadays. I do cast replays that get submitted to me, so if you have any good ones, you can always submit them to me. Oh, this gun shooting against that vehicle. Kuvalgen does take some damage. This gun gets a bit of splash there. I know there's water sources on many maps, mostly for 4 models. Water sources. A lot of times when it comes to water, usually does apply negative cover. Damn spam call. Sorry. What was I trying to say again? I hate spam calls. But a lot of times, but sometimes the maps sort of got rid of that. But most of this one does have negative cover. Oh. You can send if you can send me a email of the replay, I can cast it. And the copy of my email should be in the description of the stream. But I don't know where to get it if it's not on code2.org. Does take out the combat engineers. These guys are starting to fall back. Volkswageners push forward. German pioneers peppering up the combat engineers. Lag setting on up. Conscripts only behind heavy cover there, which is more than enough to deal with the MT-34, but I could just simply get out of max range of conscripts. Volkswageners push forward.
Crews are now authorized to make emergency repairs. Use of high explosive anti-tank ammunition is authorized.
We do have the elite armor doctrine now available. You can see here all the audio lines saying stuff is now available. Kuvalgen pushing up north. Hands for advancing. Something being per-dropped in might be a Dishka. I see that on cooldown already. It's a fast cooldown. Lag needs a high explosive, not high explosive. Smoke barrage there. They're also. Why is that scam number calling me? Power off. Okay, phone's being powered off. Sorry about that. Volkswageners push forward. Penals are here. I was thinking I was trying to say something about lag and smoke barrage. Panzer IV is almost dead, but it's alive. Volkswageners may get picked off. Looks like he does get picked off there. Some explode here. Kuvalgen goes down. Combat engineers are falling back. Volkswageners move around, staying behind the heavy cover there, which is almost destroyed. Dishka's against the garrison. He may be able to sprint forward and throw an incendiary grenade onto it. But honestly, Dishka might be able to destroy the sandbags and then hit the Volks at the current rate. Does throw an incendiary grenade there, which may destroy the heavy cover as well. You can see the heavy cover is being immolated. The bags, of course, may or may not be made out of flammable materials. Volkswagen's been some good heavy cover here. We do have a Dishka and Ziskan here. MG34 firing away, suppresses down the Dishka, loading some armor-piercing rounds. The gun itself is, or the crew is almost down, so he can overcome the heavy cover like that. Volkswagen is firing away, one of them gets efficiency 4.
Have fallen to 300.
Get a bit of damage there. We do have now, of course, the Minesweeper Engineer there. This gun gets a bounce on the Panzer IV. Does go ahead and fire, get Dishkas in here. He needs to put away the Minesweeper. Like Barragian. Gets a small hit there, nothing too crazy at the moment.
T-34 ready for combat.
Fresh T-34 Sim 6 on the field. Do have a squad of Overslots on the field.
Combat engineers are standing by.
Over here, Volkswageners are hitting the Zis gun, starting to knock it out.
The enemy has silenced one of our anti-tank guns.
May does grab the Zis gun, can't rotate around. Zis gun's probably gonna get decrewed. Panzer IV needs to start hitting that T-34. Parters fire, heat. Zis gun does go down. Panzer artillery right here, and he's going to be eating that pretty badly. And we do have now the loiter, but that's a rocket run, not loiter. Does avoid it. 8 rounds of battery subside, does subside there, so can't finish off the Panzer IV or T-34 in one shot. Conscripts behind some heavy cover there. Like, this could have hit there. Good hit there on the Volkswageners. Good hit there on the conscripts. Panzer IV does take a hit there. Does lose that Volkswagen squad a little bit foolishly.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
Oh, saw some behind some heavy cover.
Awaiting command. Only 200 points remain. Double your efforts. We're under attack. Engineer standing by.
First, I was a bit of a... Sorry, I started just reading conversation, trying to get an idea what's going on. Oh, starting to booby trap the VP. I did play the crap out of Couple Heroes 2, but I basically stopped playing it. Just found other interests. But still cast it, so because I still like the cast, and occasionally still adjust my mod. Oh, looks to interrupt the demolition charge there. Looks like he did. Not sure if that was accidental on purpose. Another squad of conscripts on, or combat engineers on the build queue. It's a good been on hit there. Is this gun line for light artillery barrage? Does roll a miss. Good hit there on the penal squad. Nobody's even, and nobody is even more interesting. He just gives his subscriber middle advices, not the best one. To be honest, I don't know who Bossett is. And again, I really don't pay attention to other casters and other players myself. Some names that are reoccurring, but some players I just simply don't know. No T-76 on the build queue. Splashes the Dishka. Looks like the barrage maybe just a little bit short. Dishka here, up here as well. Another T-34 76. Another T-34 76 pushed by forward. Oh, let's destroy the sandbags. Over here, do you have a Dishka fire rate? Suppresses both these guys, but does get out the arc. But we got the combat engineers sort of keeping the suppression up. Dishka slowly getting knocked down. We got the Panzer IV. Second pen there. Oh, I thought I heard a Vikenwerfer. Double Vikenwerfers here. T-76 down to half health. And so I saw a flare of some sort. Maybe I'm mistaken. Volks are getting suppressed. So, and also nobody defending Hans. I'm assuming helping Hans, so many of your creators just don't know the basic information about this game. His former Russian StarCraft II top player is best in Company Heroes is second place in the ladder. Now he's working for some English esports channel. Got it. I know when it comes to StarCraft II players, I've heard they have trouble transitioning to other games, and they usually hold up old games up to too much of StarCraft II standards, especially when it's drastically different. Hence why a lot of StarCraft II players never could get into Age of Empires 4. The game was too drastically different. Oh, the economy. Because StarCraft 2's economy is pretty simplistic for an RTS based around gathering up resources. Company Heroes 2 is drastically different. It's not comparable economies when it comes to simplistic. Company Heroes 2 is definitely simplistic, but it is focused on the map. The 7 points. Heat round does roll a miss. This gun does get a pen there on the Panzer IV. Could see Vikenwerfer, not Vikenwerfer, Panzerfaust. Panzerfaust firing. Heat rounds not pursuing, does get the Faust off. 3 pens is done. Then you got the Zis gun. These guys do get suppressed, does hit by a nice little lag. Panzer IV push way forward. And we've got some Panzer artillery on top of it. Interesting. Got it. I know when it comes to Company Heroes 2, my mind drastically worked different than many other players. Because I think of, how to put it, certain units I want to be, that's what I want to focus on taking the advantage with. Some units I have eye to use as defense. Some units I eye for, this unit's meant to counter. That sort of thing. It's hard to describe. Like each game I go with a basic plan of, this unit, usually infantry unit, is the unit I want to have fun and be aggressive with. And get maximum value out. Company Heroes 2 is not really a micro game. It's more of a pre-planning game, if that makes any sense. People say Company Heroes is a micro game. I highly disagree with that. It's more of pre-planning all about positioning. If that makes any sense. Sure, you can throw a grenade occasionally, but it's honestly grenades. Grenade spam is ill-advisable in my opinion. But that's just my brief summary.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
And sometimes I do make my plan like, oh, I'm gonna have fun and just throw grenades. Oh, that was a direct hit. That guy's really dead. Or at least not alive. T-34 76 over here. King Tiger will pose a bit of a problem. Panzer IV hitting the combat engineers. And we've got the Conscripts behind some good heavy cover. Ooh, looks like the Volksgrenadiers do take a bit of damage. Nice. I know Holland's been around for years. Longer than I have, to say the least. King Tiger advancing. Ooh, heat rounds the King Tiger. That T-34 will no longer be cold. Oh, it rolls a miss. Doesn't necessarily need a heat round to take it out. A regular shot will take it out. Just needs to actually get a hit on. Yeah, that's sort of nice thing about some of these more slower paced RTSs, that makes any sense. Honestly, StarCraft 2 has just been an anomaly when it comes to high, fast pace. Age of Empires 4 more similar to StarCraft 2 than other RTS, to say the least. But it's still more about scouting, positioning, more important about micro, but that sort of separates the top leagues from the mid leagues, is the micro. While just simply knowing what your opponent's going for, how to properly counter it. Yep. Not familiar with Northgard myself, but games that really involve it takes your knowledge of the game itself to maximum is probably like War Game and of course Warno, the newest version of it. Because that one's not micro intensive, while it does have some micro, but it is severely based on positioning and planning.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Heat round subsided, gets a good pen there. T-34 displacing the Shum Pioneers, gets a good hit there. Dishka is getting suppressed by the MG-34 and gets fully pinned. Probably had the first strike, and probably second strike. Conscript Squad may explode, does explode, but looks like escape on there. Nice bit of smoke there in Dishka. Penal's heading down south. Ocelot's in here. Starting to pin down this guy here. Previously there was a player Bluot was slow, but his knowledge was superior. Yep. I think I remember him. Good pin there. I remember when I used to play all the time, mostly 3v3s, the players just sort of hated the fact that I kept a MG and AT gun protecting a VP. It's like, you gotta secure the VP, gotta keep the fuel point. Any point in time, your opponent may show up. I put my effort on a small number of units and let the cost-effective defensive units hold to the sectors I want to hold and defend. Also, reposition MG and AT gun after every single engagement is critical, because mortars are very good. Don't give them an easy target.
Supply sector under attack.
A third T-34, or no, fourth T-34-76 on the build queue. Very nice. I do love mass T-34-76. It is cheap and effective.
The sector is at risk.
Hyper good anti-infantry in this large number, and good enough AT where you can simply just encircle overrun individual targets, like the King Tiger. King Tiger and Panzer IV with heat rounds opposed upon. Vickenworks will not help out either. With double Vickenwork from the field, maybe good idea to go for Katusha to displace them. Big hit there. He does also have access to the rocket run, which is very important. Oh, looks like this one has prioritized fire.
We are down to our last 25 points.
Double pen there. Heat rounds sort of pointless since the Vickenwerfer got a shot on in. Vickenwerfer rotating around and knocked out. King Tiger is starting to get overran. He has the Mechanical Warfare in position. This one just needs to be A moved over here. Focus fire one target. Spearhead is not turned on. Good. Rocket run there. Hits the Panzer lightly. And poor control of the King Tiger. He's rotating the turret. He should just have... Oh, VPs ran. I was not paying attention to that. I was trying to say is the turret, he was rotating the King Tiger turret poorly. It's better to let this guy hit the rear armor multiple times and just kill straight off the main gun, the King Tiger. With the heat rounds, it would be able to one-shot this remaining health. But other than that, I sort of got distracted by the VPs while they're talking. My bad. Either way, this is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. None. Let's see. Blue on. None. Supreme Commander. Forge Alliance Forever is about micromanagement. I think it's Discord. Supporter claim is usually. I do one thing I didn't start learning. Believe it or not, it was Supreme Commander 2 that taught me the importance of reclaiming. Granted, I only ever played Supreme Commander 1 in the campaign. Very fun. I had fun. And reclaiming is incredibly important, especially in some of the harder missions in Forge Alliance, because usually you start in the middle of a destroyed base. That is so much metal. You use that to quickly pump out tier 3 or tier 2 or tier 3 extractors, because those are your primary source of income. So you get warped in or gated in. Start building one. Maybe a factory will get some basic engineers going, help you out. But then you start reclaiming resources on the field to quickly pump out the tier 2 and tier 3 extractors, and that's your basis of income. Sorry, I love Supreme Commander, but I only ever played the campaign. Let's see, Zillow plays duels, I think. I don't know about now. In duels, the team gains are so many nuances. I don't know the knowledge, doesn't mean it's hard to micro in team games. On the air control on one air stack or water, one fleet. Yeah, I have not watched much Supreme Commander. I watched a couple of Supreme Commander replays from the General's Gentleman, but that's about it. On the replay that was submitted to me. It's in some sort of form of foreign. Ironically, Supreme Commander 2 did a better job teaching about reclaiming, because like the first mission had engineers on patrol moves, which you saw, oh wait, patrol move allows the automatic reclaim, then doing the computer, and Supreme Commander 1 does also did that. Supreme Commander 1 did not had a decent tutorial, but had it had no economy tutorial of like adjacency bonus. Adjacency bonus is something you found out eventually, but never once taught in the campaign of putting mass storage next to mass extractors in order to improve the income. It never taught that, and that was one big problem with the Supreme Commander campaigns. Never properly taught you economic management. Either way, let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Computer Heroes 2 replay. Spawn on top right side as yellow UKF, we got Ritus. Spawn as the blue UKF, we have some sort of form of foreign name. Both players are immediately locked in adoption, but either way, spawn as the bottom left side as the red austere player, we got Aquilatory. And spawn as the magenta or hot pink OKW player, we got Anonym. Howdy. All players have selected doctrining already. We got the Vanguard operations, not too common nowadays, still a very fun doctrine. We got the Lend-Lease Assault Regiment, which is pretty much a staple doctrine nowadays. Hero Storm doctrine, a bit more rare doctrine. I want to see Mechanized HQ into Opal Blitz Truck for an ambulance. Or I want to see the Wehrmacht player build his teammate a medical bunker if he goes for Mechanized HQ. That's a form of teamwork I've been seeing a big lack of issue lately, where austere players don't give your OKW teammate for medical HQ in case of they lost their forward HQ or they went for mechanized. And of course, for the red Wehrmacht player, Austria player, we got German mechanized auction. A common auction, but people underutilize the 250/1 half track. Let's see. Got some comments. Evening. Don't know who you're watching, but Supreme Commander is a lot about micromanagement. In duels, Ivan. Von Ivan? I didn't realize. I know in Cup Heroes 2 just doesn't surrender. Heavy RTS is micromanaged. Forge Alliance is more about knowledge and team game relative micro. I think one big part is probably scouting and deploying the proper counter.
A new engineer section is waiting for orders.
The big strategy games is all about scouting, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. It's probably incorrect. Volkswagen is getting overrun by the assault section, trying to focus this down, but this guy's getting peppered up pretty badly. Sturm Pioneers get forced back to the intersection there as well. Looks like he was just in light cover. And now the Volkswagen is getting overrun while this player has took no model drops. Has taken no model drops. Grenadiers push straight forward. Mace, no, too early for a rifle grenade. I guess it's just inefficient, because I always, in single player, I would notice that reclaiming is pretty effective in the campaign at least. One thing that doesn't reclaim the patrol move is, whatchamacallit, what's the tier 3 bot under Aeon that can reclaim? That thing does not automatically reclaim with patrol, which is always a bit of a shame. And at that point in time, when you're playing the campaign, you don't need to worry about reclaiming if you got tier 3 bots. If you do, something went very wrong or very right. Usually involving building a Paragon. And usually involving losing the Paragon. Assault section pushed forward, but low health. It was getting ripped apart. Should have tried rushing out and medical supplies to get that healed on up. Medic on the build queue, so that makes sense. Sturm Pioneers. British players getting overran. Needs to start falling back. Yeah, I think the final patch of the game sort of ruined a lot of balancing and made a lot of fun strategies non-existent. Even things that were okay got nerfed for some odd reason, like Ostrupen. Like, why is that a tier 1 unit? There's even an argument to make should be a tier 0 non-doctrinal unit, like my mod. We do now have the Royal Engineers getting peppered up here, getting focused down, got a good number of intersections. Looks like this British player blobbing a little bit. He does have MG42. Maybe good idea to go for a mortar. Ooh, MG42 in a great position there. Though the area suppression was a little bit lacking. Oh, maybe I misspoken. Good mortar hit there. That early mortar pit could cause some issues. Intersection sort of push right forward. Sturm Pioneers are advancing.
Bren guns and Peard launchers can now be used by many units.
Early weapon racks for this player here. He also has a Mills Bomb bulletin. Incendiary grenade.
Command level capabilities ready for deployment.
Section's taking a bit of damage there. Volksgrenadiers behind heavy cover. This guy's behind light cover. He's, I think, splitting this damage. He may need to get attack order onto that unit. The wounded one. As we're rotating back to the heavy cover since it is no longer on fire. Okay, looks like this player just going for all the intersection upgrades immediately. He has the 5-man squads. Or, no, that may have been yellow. Nope. Yellow does not have that. Blue has both those upgrades already, and he has a Mills Bomb Bulletin, but does not have that upgrade yet. No rifle grenade there. Lost the models, no reason, ran away. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem as well. A lot of players, in my opinion, have trouble fighting against these early CQB squads. Sometimes, just a good idea is to stand and fight. Do as much damage as they approach. If you run away, you deal no damage and you just receive free damage. That's also one nice thing about all of the grenades as well. because it forces your opponent to move, and since they're moving away, they generally do no damage while moving. So wounded, but he does have an ambulance here. Just need to force back this guy here. White phosphorus is a very nasty smoke. Just pull back this guy on the far side of the Opal Blitz. Opal Blitz has medical supplies act. Oh, nope, he's not far enough away. He lost a couple models there. A stiff breeze, or even a light breeze, was able to take out that guy. This guy may actually get fully wiped. Okay. Oh, looks like he tripped in the water. There's plenty of water there. Interesting. 2-2, push right forward, intersections, getting peppered up there. Grenadiers are falling back. I just worried about the heat grenade to make this thing warm. There's different awkward strategies you should know counter nowadays. Just playing around 120mm mortars, guards. Goliaths aren't actually super common, honestly. But you still have to be careful of them. AEC, now deployed in the field. Yeah, assault sections. Best way to sort of deal with them early on is like the same way you deal with Storm Pioneers. You simply stand and fight. Try avoid retreating at the last moment. But you want to try to stand and fight and do as much damage. Because, like I always say, these assault squads, particularly these early ones, require them to be at full health before engagements. Not to mention, if you manage to kill off one model, it significantly reduces their damage output. Of course, if you split damage or combined damage, it's always a bit of RNG there. Hands of Faust. Another AEC on the build queue for blue. So double AEC. Good idea not to go for any more 2-2s. Pack 40s and Telemines would be handy. We do now have a Ford HQ glider. Rocket grenade.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Pack 40 hits the stone wall. Does get a suppression there. His units sort of dance around the outside, and Engine 42 does find those models. Did that Pack 40 get directed? Nope. AC is of course repaired. Parking squad does fall back. The Ford gliders here has a number of assets here. May want to deploy as Ford 6-pounder. And no, AEC is plenty. Do now the assault section come for a flank. Pioneers need to fall back. They're about to get wiped on out. 2-2 can engage it, but he's already pretty low in health. He could be focused down. Volksgrenadiers is trying to rotate around. He will hit the Pack 40 a little bit. Volksgrenadiers are pretty corralled right there. Maybe Incendiary Grenade would be nice since 2-2 is sort of corralling him right there. Does force him back now. Volksgrenadiers push forward. He gets the Panzer Faust on this AEC. Royal Engineers repairing that up. Volksgrenadiers throwing a Cinder Grenade onto the glider. How much damage does that do? Looks like it's not penning. Or no, it may that's small arms. Don't know. Grenadiers are now falling back. I recently watched Ultramarine, Ukraine player with not so bad ranks, but he don't know what white phosphorus. Do not touch finished models. Just decrease the health to 1. Actually, it decreases the health to 0. That's actually a bit of a key distinction. It actually does decrease to 0 health, which may not seem like much, but Smoke Rounds, who has an AoE effect but deals 0 damage, can kill 0 health models. Because once the 0 health damage gets applied, the target is left with 0 health and thus dies. Bit of damage there. Yep, 0 health does exist in this game. There may be a sliver of health bar, but 0 is still 0. Volkswagens are falling fall back. We do have a Puma deployed in the field. All of the ACs, probably better just go for Vikenwurfers. Puma is effectively fighting ACs on equal footing. Not necessarily entirely, but roughly. While Vikenwurfer is a bit stronger. Of course, saves for fuel for other assets. Looks like the OKW player did go for the Medical HQ, even though he does have the Overblitz Select, my apologies. Double Vikenwurfer hit there. Okay, now the Puma can finish it off. And does take it out there, so I can eat a bit of crow with that opinion of mine. Puma has wheels, and thus it can move. The Vikenwurfer also has wheels, but doesn't move all too quickly. Volkswagens and Schumpeter's over here. Got the assault section, maybe a stun grenade would be useful. There's also a white phosphorus there. But the Puma's coaxial machine gun's okay, so can get some damage done. Vickers firing away. You have nice little ambush commandos. Puma does take a bit of damage there. Two does go down. Panzerfaust does not fire. Looks like the AC does escape on out of there unless there's a telemine in that path. Ooh, and the mortars come in and hit the Grenadier. It does get suppressed there. Pioneers may actually do something at close range. Oh, picks up the Pack 40. Goes a Gammon. Avoids the Gammon. And the commando should be pinned down relatively soon. Up north, got a blob in infantry sections, bringing in anti-infantry tactics. In this case, for OKW, Stukusafus. He's got both these HQs, so he can't get Ashira Panzer quarters for the Flame Hetzer, which can be deployed before Panzer authorization, like the Ostwin. Entry 42 finds this guy here. He maybe will crawl around, but a couple of guys decides to walk in the path. Volkswagen is being overran by the assault section. It looks like the assault section does win the fight. It does get suppressed by the MG34, forcing back up the Brennans here. Anti-tank options can damage engines through bushes. Oh, you're talking about like Panzerfaust, AT grenades, and all that sort? He doesn't even know that? That's a campaign mission throwing... like, that's campaign mission 1. Throw frag over wall. You can cast abilities through walls. That's campaign mission number 1. Grenadiers here. Commandos advancing, wounded, and open ground, so the Panzer should be fine.
The enemy are attacking an emplacement.
Incendiary mortar barrage. Getting some good damage on that mortar. Storm Pioneers and Volkswagen. Oh, okay, that's a Piet. I don't know why in my mind I thought registered that as a rifle grenade. Grenadiers behind some heavy cover. Pioneers pursuing the intersection. And this intersection is being pursued. But of course, there's a minesweeper squad. Throws a pyrotechnic onto the line. He does reposition. Yes. White Frost is the MG34. Does get suppressed.
Anti-tank rockets on the field. Artillery batteries are armed and ready to fire.
Pioneer squad does take some damage there. Grenadiers push way forward. Shroom Pioneers push forward. Volkswingers are advancing. Volkswingers getting peppered up quite a bit. He does wipe out the MG. May get wiped on his own. Nope, he does not. This squad does fall back. Centaur deployed in the field. An AEC for Centaur, maybe not a great pathing, especially when there's already Panzer IV in the field. But then again, this is Northern player who's fighting against Puma. Sorry, I had that bit of a lag, so that occasionally happens for my computer. Not sure what it looks like on your side. Carter's fire, AT gun, double pen, and Pack 40 May finished off. Yep, AT gun does finish off. Panzer IV did roll a miss, but does go down to the 6-pounder.
Our Panzer forces have been reduced by 1.
Oh, we do have incendiary mortar barrage on top of the mortar emplacement. Does take a pen there. Intersection push way forward. Got double cannon warfare here in lag. Also, instead of armor and target size, nobody invented the non-existent dodge value of dodge. It's more the fact that how well can the gunner shoot? Because getting rounds on target is not necessarily easy for an AT gun. Because think about it, you as the gunner of an AT gun is not necessarily aiming down the side, down the barrel. You're probably aiming from the side of the barrel, like if it was a Bren. And hope that the sight's sighted in. And of course, it measure the distance right and all that sort, and things of that sort. Does get a hit there on the Vickers. Oh, sneeze. Sorry about that. Pack gun does get decrewed. Ancient 42 is getting hit. Grenadiers, Panzergrenadiers push away backwards. And this one is taking some hits here. Oh, we do also have... Okay, those intersections up there as well. It's also treated away. Oh, wait. He's using open blitz like that? What? That is not the vehicle meant for that. Duke's Foos firing away. Sort of missed. We do now have the strafing support available. We also have the strafing support available if you have enough munitions. Double strafing support. Oof. Axis players need some AA. Black half-track also wins. Sheer transport is not going to cut it. It's more of a soft counter aircraft than a hard counter. 2-2s probably be nice to have as a dirt cheap option. Pioneers are falling back now. Commandos of Bren's moving the way forward. Oops. After within my empty drink. It's not really a drink at that point if it's empty. Panzergrenadiers push forward. Up north, looks like I got a good amount of suppression coming about, but he got caught reloading. Okay, that's still on cooldown. It's like, that seemed like a good time for a barrage. MG34 does get spotted. Spoos is advancing. Too far forward in my opinion. That's M10. Does get tapped once. He does have his sections. Time for a Spoos barrage. I'll try to angle it this way. Let's see how well it goes. Does get one squad pretty good, but I think it may splash his Puma a little bit there. Push way forward with the M10. Does take out the Spoos. Yeah, losing it like that's not gonna be great. No sheer panzer corps just yet. With the M10 in the field with no other assets, he doesn't necessarily need to deploy out any additional AT against it. So you can save up its money for something. Red has no vehicles in the field as well. Yeah, right now the Axis players don't really need to deploy out any more AT at the moment. Red could afford something a bit more heavier. He does have Battle Phase 3 research and Tier 4 build, so maybe going for a Panther. Both British players, we do now have a fresh Churchill Crocodile, so some AT assets would now be warranted. The flare is floating down, wherever on the map would help give away the Crocodile. There's the flares. Sometimes there's going to be a Gammon Bomb. Did I just... Oh, we do have the 20cm rocket barrage. Mostly does receive a snare there. His squad does survive. 1,000 is done for. And he does have enough munitions for the Faust, but barely. Section here. Penal squad advancing along the flank. He may throw a bundle grenade there. Or rifle grenade there. Penal squad does fall back. Churchill Crocodile advancing. Churchill Crocodiles have more health. No, less health, more armor than a regular Churchill. Hopefully it's okay to carry infantry, but you should be super careful. Like, it didn't happen there. Use Blitz, I guess, and enemy use some tank options. Both dismantled squads were finished. Yep. Or dismounted, I'm guessing. I wonder, I don't know the death roll rate, because a lot of transports, like the M3, has a 50% death rate, roll death rate. So each model in the back of an M3, the Soviet M3 truck, has 50% chance of surviving or dying. Oh, Panzerfaust does not get the snare. I'm not sure what the rate is for the Opal Blitz. Rear Panzer quarters being deployed in the field. Mono's falling back. Does get a pendant Churchill Crocodile. Churchill Crocodile is quite wounded at the moment. Black Capture still alive, along with the Sheer Pence quarters. They have decent amount of AA now. But the vehicle itself survived. My friends rage quit from that match. Got it. So it can be useful but it's definitely no orc war truck. Wait, wrong game reference. We do have now the assault section getting pinned down. Panther rotating his turret around. Centaur advancing. You now have another strafe support here. Centaur does get peppered up there. Looks like the crocodiles are full health now. We're gonna see more strafing runs. Oof, taking some hits there. Panther looks like escape on out there. Flak half track does rotate here, which will help with hitting those aircraft. Looks like the Pack 40 taking some hits. Crocodile Centaur push forward. Panther's a little bit wounded at the moment. Vicanover hits the Centaur. Centaur does go down. AT gun's gonna get through. Good striking run there. It looks like the Panther does manage to escape on out of there. Voice is starting to get scratchy. Volksgrenadiers. That's just only a Royal Engineer. I think it's stand fine to defeat that. AT guns, a Pack 40 and a Pack 40, both British flavored. No heat grenade, just Panzerfaust. Good hit there. This flak half track does go down. Sheer Prince Quarters anti-aircraft mode has subsided. Grenadiers push forward. Do now have the Grenadiers now falling back. Which Thompson squads had advantages from additional MGs later after receiving Thompsons? Technically, Rangers can pick up a Bren to go along with their... Not Bren. Oh, was that Tellermine? Churchill Crocodile find a Tellermine. Rangers can pick up a bar. Don't think paratroopers can. Then again, most time you see M1919s on them. And don't think assault sections either. I can click on him, highlight this. Looks like I can't properly select that player, so maybe not. But I know Rangers can. Only one. Which may not necessarily be a great idea because it'd be 5 slot item and 5 on 5 squad. It's a bit more minimal effect, honestly. Not really worth it. Grenadiers are falling back. Volksgrenadiers hitting the packs.
We've lost an anti-tank gun.
Volksgrenadiers do get wiped on out. British or US cavalry riflemen both lose damage per minute during the move. I am not sure. I don't, because when it comes to the replacement, the bars would give a little bit better range damage than the M3 grease gun that the cavalry riflemen start out with. But close range, I think the bar is better. It definitely has better mid-range. Not really sure. The cavalry riflemen weren't really added in the game until after the last update. I didn't really play much after the last update, so I'm not really sure.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
The Grenadiers do take a bit of damage. Good hit there on the Centaur. Crocodile falling back. 10 and bounce on the Panther. Panzerfaust does connect multiple times there, or Vicanover, I should say. Unable to get the Panzerfaust off, and the Volksgrenadiers falling back, getting immolated. Artillery running in back here, hitting the Kenworthers. The Kenworthers starting to fall back. After slowly peppering down the intersection. See the pen there. Pioneers nearby can help prepare it up. That is a pretty close range left 18. Probably too close range. It's an artillery piece that can fire from long distance. That squad did get wiped on now. Here comes another strafing run. Panther's still in the arc. A lot of wounded units there. Anthony keeps his distance way too wounded. Does lose the left 18. The Panther does not have enough health to tank with the column tank, let alone column tank with air support. Two of the Kenworthers there. In the Centaur quite a bit. Centaur goes down. Column tank pushing forward. I think he's trying to charge forward for a frag grenade. HQ does get destroyed there. So it looks like Magenta will need to go for a King Tiger with the amount of fuel he has. Maybe already going for a King Tiger. I think his way forward. Panther rolls a miss. Gonna blitz him out of there. Panther taking multiple pens now.
The squad's gone. Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Triple of the Kenworth for push forward, trying to hit that M10. Hits the M10 triple times, but does not finish off. Smoke there. M10 does go down a little bit foolishly. Crocodile emulating some of these forces now. We've got the Volkswageners decrewing the Kenworther. Intersection here getting flanked by the Volkswagen as well. Rifle grenade on that intersection. Incendiary grenade there may wipe it out, but it does manage to come out of there with minimal health. You're welcome. Get some good sleep.
Fallen to 200 points.
Yep, right now the Axis players are behind. Triple capture against them. But they do still have a healthy number of infantry, so they're not out of the fight. Additionally, Okada players are get out another King Tiger. The Wehrmacht player still has a Panther, so double Panther is probably a good idea right now. King Tiger, double Panther. Blue is probably the player that's worse off at the moment. 44 population, no armored asset, low fuel as well. And a lot of things need to be reinforced, that's for sure. Yellow right now has a good composition, including 2 armored assets. Maybe lacking another, could go for another roll engineer for repairs, but that would effectively put on pop cap, which is probably adequate right now. Good pins there on the counter tank. That's, I hear a lot of the Kenworthers firing away. What they're shooting at, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe trying to hit that decrewed Pack 38, Pack 40. Those incendiary grenade on the Vickers. Good leg hit there.
A capture point is being overrun. The enemy cut our supply line.
Another common tank on the build queue. Pack 40 does get destroyed. I think I've been saying the term Pack 38 a little bit too often because of Company Heroes 1. Unit model is almost identical as well. Good pen on the Panther.
You now have a new comet tank. Very good shooting, Gunner.
Armor-piercing rounds loaded on up. Not super important right now. I think players usually overuse that ability. Fuel is expended. Yep, King Tiger. I can now hear it on the field. Ace makes way to center. A lot of good hits there. Crocodile takes on his nice smoke from the common tank. Force fire the ground there. Gets a good pen. Receives a lot of pens there in return. Double pack 40 straightforward. Panther needs a blitz. Starts a blitz. White phosphorus connects.
Our foes have 300 points remaining. Increase your efforts.
Grenadiers get wiped on out by the common tank. King Tiger straightforward. Good hit there. Wipes out the MG. Opens teammate repaired.
Losing a capture point.
This guy, is he casting GG or is he back on the game? He has stuff. Going for another M10. That's a bad idea. With the King Tiger multiple Panthers field, Fireflies.
Capture point. They're trying to
I have
take it.
extreme bias towards Fireflies. The M10s, I have hard time ever justifying it. Even to cases where they can be useful, they just don't have the same usefulness. You have to spam out in very large numbers like T-3476s. Even then, I prefer T-3476s. Yep. He has no AT guns, and the M10 is inadequate versus the King Tiger. Good pen there onto the Churchill. Smoke hit there. True is crushing, but that's anti-infantry, not anti-vehicle. He's lacking anti-vehicle. Plus, I don't think the M10 should add that extreme capability.
Wiped out.
It's one of the few things I do agree with Company Heroes 3. That eliminating the infantry crushing due to the fact that it's hard to balance very fast units to crush. Easy to crush when an anti-tank vehicle should be anti-tank. Because the M10 as well as the Cromwell had a history of just insane crushing.
Tank ready and waiting.
Got two M10s on the field. No heat rounds, but I think the King Tiger will be able to 3-shot them, maybe even 2-shot them. M10's coming for a pretty good flank right now. We can work us over here. We got walls here, so M10 could not complete the flank. Does get another pen there. Heat grenades and Piats here under the rear armor of the King Tiger. That's not looking good for the King Tiger. One M10 goes down. Sux Foos. Ooh. King Tiger does go down, so the M10s were useful for that, so I gotta eat a bit of crow there. Points are evened out quite a bit. But of course, like right now, it's neutral cap from when you commented. When you like, commented, and subscribed? No. I will never touch Computers 3. I probably won't even touch Computers 1 Definitive Edition. Oh, we do have a short barrel Panzer IV, very nice. An excellent supporting unit for these Panthers. Really could help out his teammates King Tiger. Pack 40 does hit the Panther. There's no side armor in this game. Historically, the Panther has horrible side armor. Worse than a Sherman's side armor. Good pens there onto the Panther. Not Panther, Panzer IV. Gets abandoned, so we could see double short-barreled Panzer IVs.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Not sure. It could be just other games entirely as well. Though I don't know if there's not been many good releases lately of good games. Like last year was complete bust. I don't think I bought any. No, I actually did buy one game from 2025 last year. Never touched it yet. It was a Digimon game. Never played a Digimon. Actually, never owned a Digimon game. Remember when renting a Digimon game way back when we rent consoles? Way back when. Oh god. Are any of you old enough to remember renting consoles from a Blockbuster or any other store? Rangers, you take a bit of damage. Ultimators push forward. So the biggest update recently, or released recently, was probably a Solaris update or expansion of Nomads. I play the crap out of Solaris. Maybe I should play that a little bit more on stream. But it's not exactly one of those games. I don't know. I think it's too slow of a game probably for streaming. It's like just chatting, but with some stuff in the background. Nope, but my friends in the village had Amiga. Good times. Yeah, I remember going to a friend's house playing their PlayStation 2 quite a bit of times. My parents didn't want to buy us consoles, so my brother and I had to save up for consoles. So we had to save up for our GameCube, for the Xbox 360, and I eventually saved up for my first PC. A lot of saves. We had to save up for our own Nintendo DS's. A lot of mowing lawns around the neighborhood. Good pens there on the Panther. M10s push away forward. Blitz does go down there. Looks like the M10s aren't being useful, but two comm tanks and a bunch of AT guns are supporting them. One Panther or comm tank could go down. Probably was Panzer Faust, but one will take it out. Strafing support now. Could set up to try to pick off this guy here. Another Panther here, severely damaged. Gonna fall back there. I see one of the comm tanks did go down. Not from here, probably from these Kenwerfers. Ooh, that's the shooting gallery, but bounces. Does get a Faust off. Maybe we'll pursue it. He's doing a move order, probably do a deploy order around here. Panther does take a bit of damage here. Puma now advancing. Gets one pen, but stays out of range. In vision range. Commandos push right forward. Good hits there onto the intersection.
Squad knocked out. infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
Does get a bit of a hit there. No, it did less damage I expected. Rifle grenade on the Vickers. Grenadier's heading over here. Up north, that is being captured. Right now, the VP's armed with the axe player, 172 versus 121. Black Capshaw peppering up the commandos.
Commandos ready to go.
Volks are just push way forward. Volkswagen is falling on the way back. Panther, C3 Panther push way forward. M10 back, both get lots of pens in the Panther. Many pens in the Panther. But he has 2 Pioneers for repairs, very nice. Destroys that. Up north we do have Vickers there. Oh, we do have the raid operations activated. I was not expecting that. Birds are down below 100 points. Another Panther build queue for red. Commandos getting peppered up by multiple sources. Does get a bounce there. Do have another strafing run now being summoned. These are good hits there. On the center, looks like the Transmitter is being bladed. Another King Tiger will soon be available. Right now his bigger problem is manpower for him. Goes a bundle, does avoid it. Red has the second Panther once again. Has 2 pack boys, Veteran C2 and Veteran C3. Black half track still firing away. 2 vehicle kills. Of course, Sheer Panzer Quarter is no longer available, so can no longer get that extra gun firing. Lots of anti-armor assets pushed right forward. Pioneers getting immolated. Pack 40, but C2. Target weak point does get utilized there. Good pen there on the M10. Starting to blitz on out of there. Does take a pen there. Multiple pens there. Does see multiple pens. It does go down there as well. The combat blitz providing no extra debuff. Both M10s do go down the end. He did go for a Puma. I'm not exactly sure why. Granted, he doesn't have sheer Panzer Corps, but going for another King Tiger it makes sense. Maybe the King Tiger was still on cooldown, but I don't think so. To be fair, you never expect a 15-minute Puma. Usually a Puma this late game is because you're lacking population space and need to and just trying to deploy something on the field. But if it does not go the Puma, should have plenty of population space for the King Tiger. It does have a very good amount of support weapons. We've got 1 Lig, 2 Ligs, 3 Vikenwerfers, 2 MGs, 3 Volks, and a Sturm Pioneer who's currently building a shoe mine. I do think the M10 does have good armored pen rate, plus it's mid-range pen or close-range pen. But I'm not exactly sure.
No need for panic, but we've only got 50 points left.
Because the accuracy was high, I don't think the M10 has the increased the stabilizer in Computeros 2. Historically, they don't have stabilizer. Also, historically, their turret's also unpowered, so they have to be mainly crank. M10s historically in real life do not have good turret rotation as they have horrible turret rotation. Does get some good pens there because it was designed to replace the pack or the pack howitzer M3 half track, the GMC half track. That was hence why it didn't need a good turret rotation, because we're replacing a self-propelled gun without a turret. I'm not sure what the pen rate is in for the things. I've tried to delete that. Didn't seem successful, but may fade away. Sometimes destroying self doesn't actually dispose it visually. Folks do take a bit of damage. The grenade does connect with the flat cap track. Couple bounces there. Pack 40 straight forward. Churchill, regular Churchill now in the field. Very nice. I do like seeing that. I prefer the regular Churchill over the Churchill Crocodile. Far more resilient. Kuma coming for a flank. Does get a pen there. Does use the flat half track. Does use the Churchill. Oswin firing away. Oswin taking some damage. Probably better go for another short barrel pants forward, but the anti-air does make sense, so it's not a bad option. Kuma does take a pen there. Pack 40 rotating on back. Tank destroyers in during World War II historically, doctrinally, was a defensive unit because they needed a fast mobile platform. Turret is very convenient, so you don't have to rotate the entire hull because that's itself can be quite a bit of a burden. The job of a U.S. tank destroyer back in World War II was to rapidly respond to a panzer assault and put rounds into them. They weren't an assault vehicle, they were a defensive vehicle. They were treated as a self-propelled gun, effectively. Volkswagen is getting some good damage done.
The enemy is taking our territory.
The U.S. had plenty of production power, but they were very, very keen on not having too many field repairs on vehicles. Whatever gets shipped overseas is going to stay overseas because there's a whole ocean between here and Europe and Japan. So they needed something that it was incredibly reliable, hence why it took a long time to roll out field productions. Additionally, the U.S. Army loved the 75mm Sherman. It was a good vehicle because the 75mm Sherman was an excellent anti-infantry tool and good enough versus armored assets, which fighting against panzers was already pretty rare. More because if fight panzers, it was more likely to be responding a counterattack rather than seeing on their own attack. Hence why the tank destroyer is a bit more useful in that aspect. And the U.S. Sherman tank was highly resistant to the primary AT gun of the Germans at the time, the 50mm. Not the 75, the 50mm. Oh, MG-34 inside these forces, AW special kept them suppressed. something exploded. I think it was the Puma. And these units are starting to fall back now. It was all about doctrine. Armor was, back to my other previous point, of armor was something you do to make an assault, but US tank destroyers were not assault units, they were defense units. So they didn't need as much armor. They needed speed, mobility, and reliability. Plus, the M10 had a similar armor profile, if I remember correctly, to the Sherman tank. And looks like the British players has resigned. Zangrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And that will be my last replay tonight. My voice is starting to go out, so I'm going to call the stream a little bit early before it just goes wrong. Something just sort of scratching it. Been drinking plenty of fluids, that's for sure. But yep. Either way, I'm probably going to start off the stream. It's Angrade saying thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest.